A warm welcome to the training videos from Medi Orthopedics. The following film will give you helpful hints on patient care with the Medi M4 X-Lock knee brace. The M4 X-Lock is mainly used for indications that permit axial loading in full extension during post-operative aftercare, for example, meniscus refixation. The sophisticated frame system ensures optimum stabilization of the knee joint based on the 4-point principle. Thanks to the innovative locking mechanism, the hinge can be safely and securely locked in full extension. This enables the affected knee to withstand axial weight bearing. The patient is back on his feet sooner. Furthermore, the PhysioGlide joint tracks the rolling gliding movement of the knee joint to guarantee that the orthosis fits perfectly. The additional option of limiting extension and flexion protects the affected knee joint from damaging movements to maintain the patient's treatment status. To determine the right size of the orthosis, please measure the circumference of the affected leg 15 centimeters above the middle of the knee joint on the medial side. Then you can select the suitable product from the size chart. The orthosis can now be adjusted. 0-degree extension wedges are pre-installed in the M4 X-Locks. The wedges define the radius of movement of the knee. To set the limits of extension and flexion, please first remove the side covers. Please note that the locking mechanism is only activated when the 0-degree extension wedge is fitted. The orthosis is delivered by the factory with this wedge mounted. However, other extension wedges can be used if needed. You will find the replacement wedges in the wedge set. The engraved description helps you find the correct wedge. Slide the new black flexion wedges into the hinge from the back. Insert the wedges so that the letter, which is also shown on the underside of the respective hinge cover, is facing upward, right or left. Now place the screw in the opening in the thread and screw tight. Now move the orthosis hinges, check the positions of the wedges, and secure the hinge cover. Only the technician treating the patient may change the extension and flexion limits. In order to avoid hyperextension, extension wedges or 0-degree wedges must always be inserted. The medi bending tool can be used to help mold the orthosis closely to the patient to guarantee the best possible fit. This prevents painful pressure areas and guarantees the best comfort in wear. Please note the following points when adjusting the orthosis. Avoid damaging the hinges at all costs. The hinges should never get between the two bending tools. Always isolate the hinge from damaging forces by placing the counterpart in front of the hinge. The closer you set the bending tools together, the more acutely the orthosis frame bends. Increase the distance between the bending tools to achieve a softer correction line. Always use rounded bending tools to avoid damaging the frame. Remember that a closed system, like a rigid frame brace, can only be bent a certain amount. Mold the orthosis in small increments to match the contour of the leg and avoid overcorrection. Replaceable pads can also be used on the medial sides. This guarantees that the orthosis fits perfectly, even on very thin knees or where swelling varies. The orthosis should be worn directly next to the skin to ensure the best possible fit. Whenever possible, put the M4S X-Lock on with the legs straight. Straighten the orthosis and lock both hinges by pushing the slider bar forward. The red box is then shown in the windows on the hinges. Make sure that all the straps are open. To prevent incorrect fastening of the Velcro straps, it's recommended to close them again afterwards. Pull the orthosis up over the straightened leg. Position the orthosis so that the middle of the hinges are at the level of the superior border of the kneecap. Make sure that the orthosis is not twisted on the leg. The straps should be secured in the order specified by the numbers to guarantee the orthosis fits securely and has the optimum effect. Start with straps 1 and 2. The knee should be kept straight. Now, push both orthosis hinges backwards towards the back of the leg. Make sure that the hinges are positioned behind the lateral medial midline of the leg. Now fasten straps 3, 4, 5 and 6. Please note that the pads on strap number 4 are split. These can be positioned around the scar if need be, to avoid unnecessary pressure on a possible surgical scar. It is now recommended to walk a few steps and check again that the orthosis fits properly. As you can see, the middle of the orthosis hinge should be positioned at the level of the superior border of the kneecap and behind the lateral medial midline of the leg. Then pull the straps tight again in the same order to prevent the orthosis slipping. When the leg is not weight-bearing, that is, when the patient is sitting or lying down, the mechanism can be set to green and thus unlocked. However, always remember to straighten your leg and set the locking mechanism to red before you stand up. Furthermore, in consultation with the doctor treating you, you also have the option of doing various therapeutic exercises. This trains the sense of the joint in space and prevents early loss of muscle mass. You can order a brochure with M4X Lock therapeutic exercises separately from medi. If the orthosis does slip, please check that the orthosis hinge is correctly positioned at the level of the superior border of the kneecap. Check the position of the calf strap number 5. This should cross above the widest part of the calf muscle. Add padding to the inner surfaces of the knee hinges using the extra padding supplied with the orthosis. Wear the orthosis directly next to the skin whenever possible. The inner pads and condyle pads can be washed by hand in cold water and a mild soap solution. Leave them to dry in the air. You can also wear the medi M4X Lock orthosis in the shower. Please make sure, though, that the injured knee is always kept straight and the orthosis hinge is locked. medi. I feel better.